body turned to ashes, no remains left. This is what's happening to many Christians who are dying in Russia-Ukraine war. Now the question arises, if there is no body left to be resurrected, then will these Christians be resurrected on the last day? Today we'll see whether body burial in the ground is required for their resurrection on the judgment day. During the Roman era, during the early church days, if you consider, many disciples of Jesus were boiled in water. Many Christians were burnt alive and were made like human torches to light up the streets by the Romans. Their bodies were totally burnt with only the ashes remaining. So there was no body left in the natural. Also many were killed and given to be eaten by the lions. And there also, there were no remains left of these believers. They were totally eaten by lions. What will happen to these people? Will their bodies be resurrected on the last day? Because there is no body left in the natural to bury. There is nothing left to bury. So what will happen to them? Let's see what does the Bible say about this topic. On the third day after the resurrection of Jesus, many graves were opened and many bodies of the saints came out of the graves. So here it shows that people who were in tombs or in graves came back to life in their bodies which were kept inside the graves. Also in John, Jesus himself said, "For the hour is coming, in which all that are in the graves shall hear his voice, and shall come forth they that have done good unto the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation." This means everybody will resurrect. Some will be resurrected to life, and some to damnation, but everybody will resurrect. Now somebody would say, but here the scripture says all that are in the graves, meaning that all that are in the tomb, they will resurrect. So does this mean that those who are not inside the graves, those who were not buried in graves, they cannot resurrect? Does this mean this? The answer is no. Notice it doesn't say only those who are in the graves will resurrect. It just says all that are in the graves will resurrect. Here Jesus is referring to all the dead people, all those who died in their bodies, because graves signify the dead. Jesus is talking that all those people who are dead will be resurrected. If you read in Revelation 11 about the two witnesses of God who were killed by the beast, their bodies were not in graves. In verse 9 it says, "And nations shall see their bodies, and shall not suffer their bodies to be put in graves." So notice their bodies will not be put in graves. Then in verse 11 it says, "And after 3 days and a half the Spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet." Notice it says they stood upon their feet. That means they came back to life in their same bodies. They came back to life in their bodies which were dead, and that is why they stood upon their feet. So you see, the bodies of the two witnesses were not in graves, but still they came back to life. Still God resurrected them in their body. Now let's see what happened on the judgment day. This will clear a lot of things, because Jesus has already told us all things. So let's see if he told us about this. Let's see where did the dead come from on the final judgment day. In Revelation 20 it says, "And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and Hades delivered up the dead which were in them." So here sea gave up the dead and death and Hades gave up the dead. And also the Greek word Hades refers to the place of the dead or the realm of the dead. Notice it says death and Hades delivered them. It does not say that they came out of their graves. It says death and Hades delivered them. And now in the present time, when someone dies outside Christ, when some non-believer dies, then they are taken by death and they are delivered by death to Hades. They are kept in Hades, the place of the dead. Pay attention here. It says gave up the dead. It says death and Hades gave up the dead. So these people who were brought from sea or Hades were spiritually dead people. They were the dead. They were spiritually dead people. Because those who believe in Jesus are taken to heaven. They are not dead people. Those who believe in Jesus are spiritually alive people. They are not kept in Hades anymore. They are kept in heaven. So on the final judgment day, all those who are saved and all those who are not saved, all of them will be judged. Those who are saved will be brought from heaven, and those who are not saved will be brought from death and Hades and sea. So this means that no matter where somebody dies, whether he is Christian or non-Christian, no matter what happens to their body, even if it is totally destroyed, leaving no trace of the body, still the person with his body will be resurrected on the judgment day. God will resurrect everybody, whether believer or non-believer. He will resurrect everybody on the judgment day for their judgment. If you remember Jesus, when he was on earth, he asked a man to follow him, but the man said, "Lord, let me first go and bury my father." Remember what Jesus said to the man. He said, "Let the dead bury their dead." What Jesus meant was, let those who are spiritually dead bury the dead body of their relative. Jesus did not give any heed to what will happen to their bodies. He did not tell the man to go and provide proper burial to his father as per Jewish traditions. He did not tell him to do that, because it does not matter. What matters is the spirit and the soul of the person, whether it is saved or not. That is what actually matters. But you must consider that God is a powerful being. He is the creator of all things. So He is powerful enough to resurrect the destroyed bodies of every person. Even if it is totally destroyed and there is no trace of it left in the natural, still He is well able to raise every body back to life. So hope this clears your doubts about whether it's required by God to bury a person in ground or not. The simple answer is it's not required. It's not required by God. Although you must follow the basic burial process of whatever part of the world you are from, and this also you should do it to offer respect and honor to the person who died. But do not get involved in any form of idol worship or pagan ritual. The important thing is whether the person is saved or not. So remember, everybody will be resurrected, but the important thing is whether you are resurrected to life or to damnation. That is what is important. Now I'd love to know your thoughts about this. So please comment below and let me know your thoughts. Also, if you need the free PDF of all these scriptures which I showed in this video, then please send a quick hi to contact@agapevelour.com and I'll share the free PDF with you.